My favorite makeup products. Are y'all ready? Are you ready? I'm just gonna go down the list of how I do my makeup and what we start with. My go-to, so there's gonna be two, but my go-to eye primers this year were definitely Clean Canvas, which I feel this has been my number one for many years, and then the Milk Hydro Grip. Just depended on the vibe. If I want to see my skin tone, my undertone peek through, or I want a shimmer to just be its absolute most sparkliest, I'm gonna grab this one. And then if I want something more full coverage, maybe a little bit more matte, a little bit more glam, I'm gonna use my Clean Canvas. So there's the two eye bases. The next thing that I used nonstop, and I wanted to show this next because yes, I use it as an eye primer, but I also wear it alone as an eyeshadow, and that's gonna be 𝗕𝗿𝘂𝘁𝗄𝗵𝗹 from About Face. I think I use this, I don't even know. I used two this year. That's how much I use this. This is my second one. It is just the most beautiful, not too warm, not too cool for my skin tone. There are other nudes, so if this one doesn't work for your skin tone, they have a really nice array of nudes. But this formula, but this particular color was a 10 out of 10. It's just wonderful, and it definitely needed mention today. Now, eyeshadow, this was a difficult one, and this is a very big deal, y'all. This is gonna be a big deal. I had to pick my favorite eyeshadow palette of the year, and I don't wanna leave you waiting, but I just need to make sure that you know that this is a big deal for me. This is still the eyeshadow palette I'm reaching for the most, and this is the one that I just thought was perfect for me. I love the mattes, I love the cools, I love the warms, I love that there's cream bases on that side. I just found myself reaching for this, needing this, using this to even fix other things that I had messed up. I just think this is a very well thought out, beautiful formula. Keep in mind the other palettes from Products.Makeup, they're nice, but they're not something I reach for. They didn't speak to me. I just feel that the quality and the colors are incredible in this palette. And here is my current brow faves. I forgot to mention that first. I have videos on my saved highlights, but this one right here is absolutely what I would have used today. So go watch that. Now, in terms of sparkles, I'm obviously going to mention Sparkle Bomb because we thought this up together, Mob Beauty and I. There is just nothing like it. It doesn't roam around. And then this is what I would use if I want a shimmer. You can use this face, eye, anywhere, and it's Sparkle Bomb. And it's beautiful. And I love it. So we have to mention that, obviously. If you check my saved highlights, I've been saving a few there because we're having technical issues with our editing on YouTube. That being said, New Year's Eve Glam, you can see this in action there, and yeah, it's a 10 out of a 10. Let's talk liner. My favorite liquid liner is still going to be my Valentino. I just love the way that it flows out of the mechanism. I love the shade. I love how quickly it dries. I love how it doesn't dry too quickly. I still just love everything about this. If we're wanting a liquid liner, let's talk gel liner. So if we're talking gel liner, I'm gonna tell you, please, just go get these Milk Cosmetics liners. They are so creamy. They go on so quickly, and I feel that with the technique that I teach very often, when we keep going back and forth in the waterline and something isn't just wildly pigmented like that, what happens is the water from our eye mixes in with what we're trying to put on our waterline. Therefore, that's going to change the formula. It's going to transfer to the top. Say we don't want black on the top, or even vice versa. We don't want black on the bottom waterline. When you're going back and forth over and over and over and over, that's changing the formula of the liner, which therefore that's the reason it's not lasting. But with these, they're so pigmented that with 1, 2, it's on there. It didn't have time to mix with the water from your eye. They're long lasting, they're wildly pigmented, they're perfect. And also don't let the name just kind of limit them. I like to use them to smudge out liner because you have a lot of smudge time and you have a lot of pigment. Sometimes when we want to smudge on our lash line here, we'll go to blend and we'll over blend and it just kind of goes away to nothing. So it kind of defeats the purpose. But these are just the perfect texture to even smoke out a lash line. So don't let the name just limit them. They're more than just for the waterline. Had to get out. So for lashes, this is important. My favorites this year were definitely Rocaille Beauty, the style Moonlight. I love the lash band. I love the lash band on this entire brand. It is such an easy lash band to work with. So if you're a beginner, you are going to love this lash band. Sometimes Ardell can even have a very, very thin lash band, and we're thinking, wow, that's going to be easy to work with this. Me and this new iPhone are fighting. But when your lash band doesn't have enough structure, it kind of just defeats the purpose. So this lash band is that perfect right in between where we have structure, but it's also very easy to mold it onto the eye. So this cat eye shape, these and then Full Moon were my faves this year. Love them. Then there's another pair. These are also a super comfortable lash band. These are a little bit more spicy though. These are just going over into the super glam territory, but I have truly enjoyed. I bought more. I initially bought because I love to support other creators that have their own brands, obviously. So I bought them and then I went back for more. I purchased more. I just think that they are beautiful. Of course, they're faux mink. We don't do the real mink lashes. But I just think everything about them, the lash band, the style, I just think they're so beautiful. They're so comfortable and they're easy to apply. Again, it's a more flexible, easy to work with lash band. You can see that this one's larger lash band. So if you're a beginner, you might need to practice a couple times, but it's still a very nice lash band to work with. Oh, and they're super high quality. I can't beat mine up enough. I've worn them, take them off, pick them apart, and they will not fall apart. Great quality. And then my favorite lash glue for the past couple of years has just been Line It, Lash It from Duo. I just feel it's not too sticky. It doesn't stay in my lashes. Obviously, I use cleansing balm and a makeup eraser to take that off. Should do a separate one for skincare. We'll do that into the new year. But this is just a great formula and I love the way it dries down. I love how easy it is to work with. I love the way that it dries quickly, but not too quickly that we don't have time to set it. Everything about this lash glue has just been a 10 out of a 10 for many years for me now. And then my favorite lash curler, 𝗕𝗿𝘂𝘁𝗄𝗏, for many years. 10 out of a 10. Cannot find one that I like more, and I've tried them all. This one never crimps the lash. It never just makes it go, now it's stuck on my thumb. Not really, but it never makes the lash go like this. You know how sometimes lashes, they're just bent up? It's always a subtle curve. The lashes stay. It doesn't pinch. If you have not tried this lash curler, now is the time. Favorite foundations. You ready? 𝗕𝗿𝘂𝘂𝘁𝗄𝗏 is back. This took me by storm knowing that this was back. This is the Power Play many years ago. A lot of you have been with me a long time now and I love you so much. But y'all remember back in the day, I used to use this when it was in the square bottle. Do you remember when it was in a square bottle? By the way, I love the new packaging. So sleek and easy to fit in my makeup situation here. This foundation is just beautiful. The way it applies, the way that it wears, everything about it. I'm just so happy that it's back. And it has been updated, but it didn't get updated poorly. They did it right. And it's just wonderful. It's wonderful. And now for foundations, it was too hard because I feel that with complexion, even with skincare, anything that goes on my face changes weekly, sometimes even daily with how product lays on it, what I'm wanting. Am I wanting full coverage? Am I wanting every day? So I cannot just narrow it down when it comes to foundation and concealer and powder because it's just, I narrowed it down really nicely, but I can't just say one. I can't. So this was really, really hard to narrow down, but this one is the one that I was using kind of nonstop before the Kiko Milano, and that is the Revlon Color Stay. I love everything about this foundation. This one is tried and true for me out of all the drugstore foundations. Something you could just go grab at Walgreens or at Walmart or CVS right now. This is exceptional. And I also love that not only is there one for balance to dry, which is my skin type, there's also one for combination oily. And I just think that that's fantastic. And I just love this foundation. And it's a 10 out of a 10. And I still see myself wearing this into next year. This is exhausting, remembering all this stuff. So just an honorable mention is 𝗕𝗂𝘁𝘆 𝗗𝗲𝘀. I love everything about this foundation, but this foundation is super full coverage. It's still very thin, but I also love the applicator because it's a doe foot applicator. So if you want to use it as concealer, you can, but it is fantastic. And a lot of times it's really, really, really on sale on Amazon. So if you can find it, get it. It's amazing. I love this foundation. But I will say the other two are the ones that I will reach for more because this one is a heavy duty. She's heavy duty. So I've been using the one concealer I still can't talk about yet. That's going to be out very, very soon. That one's going to be my 2024 concealer. And you know what? I can't say anything, but I can say I love and appreciate when brands listen. It is incredible. So if you're a brand watching this, thank you for lending your ear and listening to not only me, but listening to our community here. Thank you. That all being said, I still can't tell you what that is, but we'll call that the 2024 concealer. 2023 concealers, Haus Labs. I love this. It is super pink, superty duperty doopity duperty pink, and I do love that. That being said, wearing it alone can be a little too light for me, and you're thinking, but isn't that what we want? Not always, because sometimes if we don't have balance underneath a very light concealer, we can have shadows, defeats the purpose. It's going to make our fine lines look worse. I have milia. It's going to make that look worse. It's going to be terrible. So what I would do is I would mix this or wear this on top of another concealer. So this as a brightener, think of this as a corrector slash brightener. And when I say that, that's going to go on top of concealer. When you put a brightener underneath your concealer, sometimes it'll just muddy it. But if you put it on top, something this pink, it's a beautiful effect. So I love this concealer, but there's some tips I got to tell you. Tips, tip. All of the brands right now are realizing that skincare in foundation, in concealer, even in some powders, it's a wonderful idea. That being said, the primers, the skincare, any of the skin prep that we're doing is kind of battling with the skincare that is in this. So what we're gonna do to fix that is, since this has so much skincare in it, I'm not gonna put a ton of skincare underneath my eye. I'm gonna do my skin prep, but I'm gonna be mindful of how much eye cream or anywhere that I'm putting this moisturizer, I'm gonna be more mindful of how much I'm applying. Long gone are the days of a dry, if you love this, please do not think I'm insulting it, but on my skin, Tarte Shape Tape is very, very drying. And to combat that, I would normally do more skincare. That's not the case with these newer formulas. So if you've struggled with maybe one of the newer formulas of foundation that have come out recently, or a new formula of concealer and it's patchy on you and you're just not enjoying it, it's because there's already so much skincare in these. So when you're putting that on top, it's gonna be chaos. I wish somebody would have told me. And then the next concealer that I have used, two of them already, because I would use it as foundation too on my no makeup days. And I would just throw it on as the Natasha Denona, and I love this color. This color is my perfect, oh, that one's R4. I need R5, which I have here. I wasn't prepared. Got it. So this is my second one, and I'm already scraping this one. But remember, I don't want you to feel like you're gonna run out of it or it doesn't last long. You have to remember how many times a day I do makeup, how often I do makeup. It's totally different over here. So this shade is my perfect under eye shade, to where I get that very even brightened effect, but it just flows beautifully. Not too light, just perfect. R5 is just perfection. And it was probably my most reached for concealer of 2023. And really quickly, I'll just tell you, super thin. One of the most thin concealers I've ever seen in my entire makeup life. Super, super pigmented. That is a good thing. I went ahead and worked it in, and I had the tiniest amount there, and just look at how it looks. It still looks like my under eye, just better. And that's why shade match and undertone is so important when it comes to foundation and concealer, because when you get that right undertone and obviously the right shade, it transforms and it doesn't even look like it's there. So that's something to keep in mind, and that's something we're going to continue to stress going into the new year. But this is wonderful for all skin types, this concealer, all ages, everybody. This was incredible, and I'm excited to see where makeup science is going to go next year. This year, I think we got pinker with powders than we ever had. We were putting blush under there. It's me. Ooh. Let's just change the page to shadow puppets. Okay. Okay, let me get back on track. I was saying, I love the pink under eye trend. I never want this to be a place to where you feel that I do not like a trend. I love trends. Let's just have fun with makeup. There's no right, there's no wrong. This is the only thing I'll ever say about makeup. If you can, just try to make sure that you find a foundation and a concealer, like I was saying, that matches your undertone. If you're still struggling, ain't nobody judging. We are not here to judge. So back to the pink under eye trend, and we're going into powder. That's why I'm mentioning it. So my favorite powder to this day, I've been using it since 2017, I want to say. The person that actually introduced me to this powder was one of my dear friends. She's a celebrity makeup artist. Her name is Melissa. I'm going to tag her because we went to Sephora one day and she said, Rose, you have to try this powder. I said immediately, yes, you're amazing and you do makeup just incredibly, so give it to me. So I purchased this and I had been using it in my daily tutorials here and on TikTok. I've been using it, I don't even know how long. For a long time, way before it ever went viral. It was just me and Melissa. We said this is the powder. Now let me explain it a little bit. So yes, this is still a pink powder, but this is still a very translucent, and translucent means see-through. It's a veil. Ooh, it does not have a whole lot of pigment. If we look at powder the same way that we look at eyeshadow, we can maybe imagine that a little bit better. It's pink, yes, but you can see that compared to a one size ultra pink powder, it is not pink. It's pink, but hang on. I'm a visual person. Do you see that? Oh my gosh, of course you see that. This is going over into blush territory, which I love. I still use this one, but your under eye will definitely have a pink cast. This has more of a pink pigment. This is a veil, and what this does is it just brightens and smooths. I'm going to compare it to another powder, and I actually really like this powder too. Very, very pink. This one is, here's the one size. You can see that they're even different shades of pink. This one's a little bit of a warmer pink, and this one is a cooler pink. It's interesting, right? So these will definitely leave pink pigment on the skin, but they also make a beautiful blush transition. So pretty. So if you have one and you're like, I don't know, it's a little too pink, use it as a blush transition or to blur blush. Magic. That being said, this one is still the one that I'm going to reach for. This is the Givenchy, which I already tagged. This one is incredible. These are a little bit more, the Jones Road and the one size are a little bit more advanced, a little bit more pigmented. You might not want them for every day, but I do love these two if you're wanting extra pink. By the way, quick tip, if you have a foundation that's a little too warm, a little too yellow on you, a cool pink like this one from Jones Road, the lightest dusting. And if you want a light dusting, you want a big old fluffy brush, this one would be really nice for it, just to kind of dust it across that foundation or concealer. If you have a concealer that's a little bit too yellow, this on a puff or even a light dusting. I should do a video on that, but pink powder really can help kind of shift things to be a little bit cooler. Now for pressed powder, I didn't really use one that wasn't a powder foundation, but I find that with a light hand, this isn't very heavy. But this one was my go-to. I would use it as powder foundation. It's more full coverage. Just if you want to use a dense brush, you can get it very full coverage. But if you just use it with a fluffy brush, even the C41 here, just a light tap in there, it's not going to be insane coverage, but you're going to get a nice blur. Or you can use it very lightly to set foundation. There was just a whole plethora of ways that I used this, and I absolutely loved it. Now, I didn't use this one quite as much as powder foundation. I absolutely could have, but I'm going to mention my favorite powder foundation in a second. But this one I just used as a pressed powder to set my foundation, or just a very light dusting to kind of blur eyeshadow. I just use it in a myriad of ways. This has been my favorite powder foundation since 2020. I purchased it off of Amazon, did a review on it, and if you've ever seen that ad of me, you'll notice you'll see a C41 prototype. The brushes weren't released yet. And you'll notice that was a first impression. I was not paid to do that. I purchased that myself, but they did purchase rights after. I love this stuff. I still use it. If I'm going to do a powder foundation, I'm going to wear this one. It is wonderful. I feel that it kind of shifts on the skin, and by shift, it adapts. I feel like it can just adapt to your undertone because it's not wildly full coverage. So you're still able to kind of see your undertone through it, but it's very blurring. So you're getting really nice coverage. I just love this. If you still haven't tried it, please do. I'm going to give you one tip. I wear shade Fair, and I never wear shade Fair in anything else. So go lighter. I was saying go much lighter than you would think. So that's the one thing I've heard. Most of you just absolutely love this, but some of you did get your normal shade. So for me, I would have even thought I would have been light medium. No, shade Fair. So just go much lighter than you think. Bronzer, we're going to talk powder. And this is going to be self-explanatory. My 𝗵𝗵𝗂𝘂𝘁𝗄𝗏 Mauve. Beautiful formula. Perfect shade for me. If I need a little bit more depth, I'm going to mix it with this one. I'm going to label both, but 𝗵𝗵𝗂𝘂𝑥 is the main one. These two are creams, and I do enjoy them, but I just, the powder ones are the ones for me. I love this bronzer. It completely replaced my Gucci bronzer. This clean formula, it's just so beautiful. 10 out of 10. And then for liquid bronzer, I use this one the most. This is my Armani. And I know we're thinking, woo, but I feel like all of us were able to find them on sale all year long. I hope they're not discontinuing it. They probably are, because that's how brands like to treat us. But if you are able to grab this, I use this so much. I loved it. I love the formula. We talked about it yesterday. I'll save that to my highlights. I kind of did a really good explanation on that yesterday. But just the way that once you place it and you blend it, it doesn't blend out. The pigment doesn't fade. The pigment doesn't disappear like a Charlotte Tilbury contour wand, which I don't enjoy and never did. So if you're wanting a really beautiful liquid bronzer that you can make very intense or very natural, this one is super versatile. It's a 10 out of 10. Now, things that normally blow up on TikTok aren't products that I enjoy. It's just my style of makeup. No right or wrong. Can't stress that enough. We all have different styles. That's what makes this so much fun. But you know what? Something that did blow up, and I'm happy I tried it, the P. Louise liquid blush. The pigment on this, again, it's a very stable pigment. I know that sounds so corny, but it's a real thing. It fills in gaps the way that it blends into the foundation. You're not having that patchiness. You can even have a little bit of patchiness start to happen with your foundation or your concealer. This kind of fills in that gap. And it's so smooth, the way that it sets, everything about it. This is my favorite color, so this is the one I wanted to mention. There's a beautiful array of colors for everyone, and it's just a wonderful formula. And I remember at the beginning of the year, I was using this blush a whole lot, and I love the formula, but honestly, the packaging, I can't get into it. If you bought this, I'm so sorry. The formula is amazing. I would just crack this thing open and leave it alone. Honestly, I have to pry it open to get it open. And if you can get it open easily, I'm very happy for you. I cannot. But I love the formula. The other ones have a little bit more of a satin finish, so they're gonna have a little bit of sparkle. This doesn't. And I know that this color, it doesn't work for everyone, but this particular formula is really, really, really nice. So if you're wanting that blue pink, this one was my favorite blue pink, and I do remember I used this all last year, early last year. I just loved it. But I remember that one was the one I used the most. And I want to be very fair with this. I mean, I could go on and talk about 42 blushes, but I don't want to. I want to be really fair. That one was my favorite, and then I really feel that we switched over to these P. Louise ones. Now, if we're talking mascara, this is the one that I reached for all year. We love an affordable, amazing mascara. But you know what? Mascara is super, super personal. So some of you might not like your lashes to be a certain style. That's why there's so many different formulas, so many different wands. But this one, for the way that I like my lashes, I absolutely love it. And it's a lifting, it's separating, and it's a very light fluff, super light fluff, but I love it. Now, if I'm skipping something, you can just let me know. I'll just tell you what it is. You can just DM me, and I think I've covered everything. Oh, my favorite lip balm. I have it on right now. If I sit down, if I exist, this is on my lips. This one is my absolute favorite. And remember, I've tried all the lip treatments. I've tried the Summer Fridays. I've tried them. You're going to name them, and I've tried them. This one is just perfect. It works for me. It's not too heavy. By the time I go to put on even a liquid lip, it's I've thrown it away. But it'll be just perfect to apply lipstick on top. And one thing you're going to notice about me, I never have chapped lips. I drink a lot of water, yes, but I do owe a little bit of that to this. Now for lip liners, which ones did I reach for the most? I'm trying to decide which ones. Okay, I reached for my NYX ones. These Line It Loud. Reach for these. Love the colors, love the formula. They're not retractable. You sharpen them. I know they're plastic, and I know that's scary, but you sharpen them just like you do a wood pencil. Magic Maker was probably my favorite shade out of all of these. If you haven't tried this formula, okay? There's other NYX lip liners. They're okay, but these are exceptional. And then the other lip liners that I reached for the absolute most were the by Mario lip liners, Milk Chocolate, Smoky Pink. Just wonderful, just delicious. Here's Milk Chocolate. It's this right in between neutral brown, but it's not too dark for my skin tone. I love that. But then Smoky Pink, look at this. That's the wrong side. I'm too excited. Oh my gosh, it is so cool toned, and it just creates the perfect contour for my lip color. I love these. Last but not least, if you still have not tried these J-Cat Lip Tonics glosses, I cannot stop wearing them. I love wearing them with red lipsticks, nude lipsticks, just the way that they enhance. They make the lips glow, and I feel that glowing lips, I need to post a tutorial. I feel that glowing lips are where we're gonna go. Your lips look almost lit from within, and that's exactly what these glosses do. So if you wanna be ahead of that trend, which I am predicting, it's gonna be a hot trend. I promise. And it doesn't mean necessarily a specific shade of lipstick. It just means whatever you're putting on top and a little bit of a lip stain, the lips are gonna glow. I need to post the video so you know what I'm talking about, but mark my words, it's gonna be called Glowing Lips. I love y'all so much. Y'all know me so well. So what happened was I just rearranged everything and I didn't know where it was. Sephora, dressed to the 90s. Honestly, y'all know me better than I know myself. It's my favorite. This whole formula was my favorite. But like I said, I had them in my little, they were in this, so I didn't even think about it, but now they're over there in that, which is better organized, but also I have to get used to it. I almost feel like I need to apologize. This is embarrassing. I'm never embarrassed with y'all. Y'all are my friends and family here. So what we got here, one of my favorite formulas that has ever existed in the whole makeup universe. It's a gel lip liner. And the reason that I feel like that is special because I feel that lips are still gonna stay very shiny, and this formula just pairs with that very shiny, glossy, wet lip. but it still stays in place and it creates a really nice barrier. So if you haven't tried these, do it immediately. I went ahead and bought all of them and I just love them. I bought, like I said, I bought the original ones. I have 2 of these and then I went in. Whatever they had, I purchased because the color, the pigment, the formula, everything. Probably one of my favorite things of 2023. So everybody remember, if you'd like to sit down and do a favorites video, don't reorganize before you do that video. Now I'm gonna go film a couple things and finish organizing here. I wanna film some rose petal lips. I have a lipstick here that's supposed to make your lips look like a rose petal, and I said immediately yes, give me that. All right, I love y'all so much, and I'll post that glowing lip trend that I think is going to be popular this coming year, and I will see you tonight in the comments.